we're joined by misanthropist misanthropist. I can't speak now. Misanthropic Kevin O'Sullivan, who is a misery chief. There you go. That will have to do because I can wrap my tongue around those words. How are you, my darling?
Yes, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to be miserable.
Right. Now, I know you wanted to speak to me about this one yesterday, but I was so busy bimbling about.
Talk about this.
We've got to talk about this. You tell our wonderful audience what we need to talk about.
This is the story. I was desperate to get you on last night because I think it's right up your street. This is, in my view, ground zero of the insanity of our migrant crisis. This is the story of an Egyptian man, a 42-year-old guy who broke into the country in April 2023. We, of course, did all the usual. We started paying for all his food, his accommodation, his dentists, his doctors, his lawyers, fighting his case to stay. And we put him in the very nice Hilton Hotel in Ealing to the west of London, a very nice part of West London. He was this, and then last November, after enjoying our hospitality for so long, he headed into central London to Hyde Park. And at 9 p.m. one night, brutally raped a poor young girl walking home after a night out, pulled her into some bushes and ruthlessly, brutally raped her. This week, he has been sentenced to 8.5 years at Southwark Crown Court. When the judge sentenced him, he said to him, I can see that you have no conception of just how serious your crime is. You do not seem to understand that. In other words, here we are, another guy from the Middle East, from a different culture, who doesn't understand the seriousness of rape. Now, that is bad enough. So he's beginning his jail sentence. What do we learn the following day after this horrific story emerges? Trust me, you wouldn't imagine that this story could get worse, would you? Well, it damn well can. We learned the following day that for 17 months, the Home Office has been pondering whether or not to allow this man's asylum application. Shall we let him stay or shall we not? Now, guess what was on the table while they were pondering this very difficult question?
Oh, might it be the fact that they knew he was a bomb maker?
Let me finish, Alex. They knew from day one that this guy was a convicted Islamic terrorist. He was convicted in Egypt of being a bomb maker for Islamic terrorists. So he's an Islamic terrorist. And for 17 months, our officials, the Home Office, couldn't make up their mind whether or not he should be staying. And by the way, he just then decided, I'll nip up to Hyde Park and rape someone.
So here we go. Here we go, Kev.
The insanity, Alex.
I'm about to do it. I'm about to do it, son, because you know I'm a bit of a Tonka toy. Wind me up and then watch me go. So here we go. I'm going to go on this. Why on God's earth is a man who was making bombs in Egypt for the Muslim Brotherhood, one of the most extremist Islamist organisations that has terrorised the world, that most Islamic countries ban. This man was put in prison in Egypt for 8 years. When he comes out of prison, he runs off to Turkey, doesn't he? And then from there, he makes his way illegally over to the country. He breaks into the country to claim asylum. The Home Office know he's a bomb maker. They know he's a terrorist. But instead of saying, we don't want the likes of you over here, sunshine, oh no, they give him luxury accommodation in a hotel in the middle of London. So I thought to myself, well, maybe they think at least we can keep some eyes on. We can't actually put him in prison because he's not done anything in the UK yet. We can't deport him to Egypt because international law says he might actually end up going back to prison there, or so on and so forth. So at least you sit there and think, maybe they're going to be observant of this character, because Lord knows he might be going down to Screwfix to buy a massive bag of nails. He might be ordering fertiliser online. He might be making a bomb vest. He might be sitting there planning how he's going to blow up a classroom of little English girls. So you would hope that they might watch this person to make sure he's not going to do wicked things to our country, in our country, while we pay to put him up in a hotel. But clearly, no. There wasn't. eyes on this terrorist because he was able to wander freely around and go and rape a woman in a park in the middle of London. This isn't just balmy. This is suicidal. This is sheer negligence. This is one of the most disgusting stories I've ever read in the newspaper.
I agree with you more, Alex. As I say, ground zero of the insanity. And my message to Keir Starmer and the new Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, is stick your one in, one out nonsense where the sun don't shine. Start dealing with this in a sensible way. This is absolute madness. A convicted Islamic terrorist bomber, a member of the Muslim Brotherhood, and they let him come to this country. We give him all the hospitality we possibly can, and he's allowed to wander around. I mean, come on, never mind one in, one out. Start acting sensibly. Start acting properly.
This is the Home Office. This is these are the levers of state actually being responsible for potentially killing people, for a woman being raped because they knew he was a wrong 'un. They knew he was somebody who was dangerous to the public. They knew full well while they sat there for a year and a half, twiddling their thumbs, wondering what they should do with him while we pay for him to be having a wonderful life, living it large in the centre of London. How many more, Kev? How many more people are the same as Abdul Rahman Adnan Abu Layla? Because I'll tell you this, from things I'm hearing, it's plenty. Because do you know the sort of people who want to break into a country illegally? People who want to do illegal things. People who want to come to the country and work don't throw their passports into the sea. They don't pay international people traffickers. They're not part of crime syndicates. They're not getting false documents from terrorist organisations. People who want to come and do the right thing go about getting into the country the right way. So that won't be the first story of this kind. It's definitely not the last. This is going on. And as far as I'm concerned, if one single person from one of these boats that the taxpayer is paying to have in a hotel or be put in a house commits a crime, be it sexual assault, be it rape, be it murder, or worse still, a terror atrocity, because all of these things right now are seeming to me like they're going to be inevitable, the responsibility stops with the government.
Let me just stress again to the audience, imagine this, folks, imagine this. This comes across the desk of civil servants at the Home Office. They know that this guy who broke into our country illegally is a convicted Islamic terrorist bomber and a member of the Muslim Brotherhood. And what is their response? They look at it, they go, shall we let him stay or shall, well, let's just put him in a hotel, let him wander around for 17 months while we try to make up their mind. It's not just madness. It is just barking insanity and hopelessness and uselessness. Never mind one in, one out. Get to grips with this deranged absurdity.
If I knew that there was some fugitive terrorist and I decided to hide him in my blimmin' cellar, I would probably be prosecuted for aiding and abetting a criminal. I would probably go to jail for that. And yet our own Home Office is taking a fugitive terrorist and putting him up in a hotel.
It's just, as I say, it is literally unbelievable, and except it actually happened. And if this is not a wake-up call for Starmer to get to grips with his civil servants and to really get to grips with this migrant crisis, I don't know what is. If he does not react to this single story with something dramatic, something stronger than he's done so far, we are lost. We are lost. It is just breathtaking that this happened.
Well, he's not reacted. He's not going to react. He's going to pretend it doesn't exist. He's rather pleased that it probably got overshadowed by the state visit. But you and I, Kev, we don't let these things disappear down the cracks because we know how important they are. Kev and Alex right again. We're fighting the good fight and we will always continue to do so. Kev, I love you to bits. Thank you so much for coming on.